Hey everybody, welcome back to my React Review channel. So last night was Melodi Grand Prix semi-final 1 in Norway, whereby the first qualifier will join the automatic qualifiers in the final on February the 9th, I believe. And so, interesting, I didn't get to watch it live, I was out, but as soon as I came back in last night, I caught up. So obviously, I think like a lot of people who may have not watched the semi-final, but kind of were notified of the results, would have been very surprised that actually the winner or the person going through was Frode Vassel with Black Flowers. Now, when I reacted to this song, I had no issue with the song. It was fine. I didn't understand necessarily what the song was about until someone kindly informed me it was about Norway's practices that seems to go against anything green, or obviously is counterproductive in regards to dealing with climate change. So I had no issue with that song. I thought it was kind of catchy, so I wasn't completely surprised. But evidently for me, on first listen, I kind of was backing TrollfesT. I kind of thought that I couldn't wait to see that live on stage, and I thought there would be kind of a huge audience at home that would be happy to pick up a phone for that sort of jovial sound. And then obviously in regards to the comments of my reaction video, there is obviously a lot of support behind Eline's ecstasy, and not just in regards to semi-final 1 for that song, but for a lot of people it's like their favourite, even if you include like the automatic qualifiers. So with that said, obviously I was extremely surprised. So naturally, obviously what I did is I checked out the performances of all 4 songs. So Duel 1, TrollfesT and Frode, this is obviously where it starts getting good for him. Now, I watched TrollfesT's performance. I mean, you are blown away at the beginning. Like, your senses are on overdrive. You don't know where to look. There is a lot going on. And when I say that, I mean, obviously, the visuals on the stage. Not only the props on the stage, but obviously what they're wearing. They have taken the title of their song and they have run with it. It's like a flamingo god has been sick all over the stage. That's what we were able to see. Now, I initially smiled when I saw it, and then I was like, oh, when you properly look at it, it does unfortunately look a little bit cheap, a little bit gimmicky. And I was trying to give the song the benefit of the doubt that it wasn't cheap, it wasn't gimmicky, because the chorus is really, really, really infectious. But, I mean, I'm really interested to see how Subwoolfer performs theirs, because I don't think they're going to go down this route. Obviously, they're going to come out performed as wolves and obviously probably take elements of the video, but I'm hoping it looks a bit more polished, it looks a bit more expensive than what we saw from TrollfesT. Like, the first third, there's a moment where people are just running around the stage and it's extremely distracting. For me, I only kind of really got into the performance watching it when they kind of went into a line, and then you got the viral video dance movement thing going on, which I thought was really, really good. And up until that point, it was a lot to take in. It was a lot to take in. But I'm almost gutted that obviously all of these ones that I've so far not passed get another chance, right? At the last chance things, which I don't really know how that's going to work out. But like, if this had done well, you breathe a sigh of relief in the next year or 2 years when you have like your Eurovision final parties and you've got to dress up, and then you can dress up as a pink flamingo. But the majority of people that I kind of party with don't really know Eurovision, so if I rock up as a flamingo, they're going to be like, that makes no sense. But like, okay, watch this video, it'll make sense. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised that didn't go through. But now watching the performance, I feel, I don't know, was the idea behind this a little bit lazy? I think potentially, because even I, at the end of the before they kind of get into the line, even I was like, oh yeah, I'm kind of lost interest here. It's really, really busy. It's actually it's not clever gimmicky. It's not clever kind of thrown up a flamingo on the stage. It was a bit messy, which is a shame. So I don't know whether they're allowed to tighten it up or change a few ideas for last chance, but I would suggest not to go back to the drawing board completely. But I wasn't I wasn't completely won over by what they were wearing and what's on the stage. Embrace the flamingo theme, fine, but they decided to embrace it and times it by 1 million, and then times that by 1 million, and that's what we got. Okay, and then yeah, Frode, I mean, it was a great performance, and actually, you know, that's an example of a staging that just went really well. It was, so he starts off behind that like cage thing, right, and then he comes forward. There was a moment at the beginning I was like, oh, I don't know if actually I quite like your vocals with this song, but then at the end, like, he just kills it with that vocal. And I think, didn't he do the voice in Norway? So he's evidently got a vocal. I know he was a backing singer, and he has been a backing singer for previous Norwegian entries at Eurovision, so he's got the voice for it. And that's the thing, whilst TrollfesT came across a bit gimmicky and a bit messy, this just came across polished, well-rehearsed, a great idea, and it was kind of simple in its nature, but it kind of worked with the song. You weren't really distracted, you were focusing on the song and on his voice, and obviously that's evidently what came through in the end. So I wasn't completely shocked that he won that duel. And then we had the second duel. So we had Eline and we had Mira Craig. Now, I was rooting for Mira Craig. What is that meme? What is it from America's Next Top Model? I was rooting for you. I was rooting for Mira Craig. I thought, you know, give this girl a chance. Yes, the studio version isn't exactly the best, but, you know, that anthemic chorus, when it's on stage, we'll fall in love with it. She'll do something quite clever, maybe something tribal, I don't know. And as soon as I saw the colour palette at the beginning, I was like, oh, pink, okay. Like, I really still don't really know that song. Is it like a pro-women song? Is it like a feminist chant? Like, we're still here. I still don't really know what that song's about. And then I don't know, like, who was behind the idea of both the outfits and just, I don't get it. Like, it's straight away, you're like, this, even the silhouette in the back, you're like, what is on her head? Like, I was saying that TrollfesT looked kind of gimmicky and cheap. Like, regrettably, nothing worked. Like, the ideas with the choreo, like, the choreographer hasn't really tapped into that song because the choreography didn't really fit that song. Weirdly enough, the best thing about that whole 3 minutes was actually her voice. When I reacted to the studios of Semi 1, I was a bit kind of dubious about whether she'd be able to pull it off live based on my memory of her doing Melodi Grand Prix in 2010. But she was able to pull it off fine. I really didn't like the operatic element near the end. Like, by this point, I'm already switched up. I can't get away from just how cheap the whole idea of the visuals on stage was. Like, what was that dress? What was the dress? Was it wigs? I didn't get it. So this wiggy dress and the flower, yeah. Mira Craig, I was rooting for you. Like, on a serious note, while TrollfesT could maybe, like, tone the flamingo down a little bit, Mira Craig needs to go back to the drawing board because no. Oh, I really wanted that to do well. And no. But she sang it well. But there just didn't seem to be a kind of fluid concept behind everything that we saw on stage. It just was a bit all over the place, which was a shame. And then, so it goes without saying, like, it's no surprise that Eline Ecstasy won that duel. Now, I was really critical about this when I obviously reacted on my initial listen. It has come on now and again, and I have listened to it now and again since, and I have been thinking, was I overcritical? But it was an initial reaction, right? And so that's what this is all about. But I still don't like the break with the horn after the chorus. I still don't love that. She can sing that live, that high note in the chorus, but even though she can sing it live, it just alienates me a little bit. I don't know. When she does it, I can't sing. She can sing. She hits the note. That's not the issue. But it's so high. I don't know. Like, if you're a fan of Dotter, right? From Sweden, obviously a Melody Festivalen princess, like I am, then you probably will tap into this sound quite well. And that's kind of after the second or third listen. And when I watched her particularly live, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm getting a Dotter vibe. And I'm a big fan of Dotter. I say big fan, I mean, I've really liked her entries in Melody Festivalen. So, with that said, we then get to the last duel, right? We get Frode versus Eline. So, I think this is where people got really shocked. I think up until this point, I think people had accepted it. And actually, interestingly, I was just going through my Twitter as people were tweeting in the show last night, like live responses. And there were a few people that said, Frode's got this. So there was evidently something that connected on the night. And that's obviously the thing. We know this with national finals in Eurovision, right? You have to hold judgment until you see the performance, how it's performed. And evidently, people watching it live could foresee that this connected more with the audience. I don't think there's anything necessarily that Eline needs to do in regards to that performance, because she sang it really, really well. And I liked the colour palette. I liked what she was wearing. I liked the incorporation of the backing dancers. I liked the choreo of the backing dancers. And when she joins in now and again, it all seems quite seamless. Like I said, for me, it's just the song itself. I don't like the horn after the chorus. And in that chorus, when she goes really high, sometimes, I don't know, I find it slightly jarring. Obviously, when I reacted to the automatic qualifiers, I did say, in regards to Elsie Bay's Death of Us, I needed to see it live, only because I could understand the hype behind it, I could respect the sound of it, I understood the quality of it, but I just made the comment that for me, the vocals on the studio didn't really match or live up to the emotions of the song, because the lyrics in the song are poetry, and I can't get over actually how great the lyrics are. So I did say I need to see this performed live, because I'm just not convinced the emotions that Elsie gives on the studio cut really does the song justice. So as a result of that, she performed last night, so I've got a perfect chance of actually seeing this live. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now.
The devil hides between the jack and the king, a Jezebel. When sleep no longer comes, you spit in anger from your lungs.
Tell you what, she's pitch perfect, isn't she? Sounds just like the studio version. It's a really cool, calm and collected performance, right? I love those strings. I can't fault her vocals, and I feel Mira Craig needs to get in touch with the designer of Elsie's costume designer. It's a lovely song. It's not what I was expecting. I'm not underwhelmed by the performance. You don't really need to do anything, do you? And what I mean by that is she just needs to stand there and just deliver the song. The song sells itself, right? I just didn't know whether she'd be able to... There is some subtleties now. That was good. It is a lovely song. It's a really nice listen. It's a great song. It's a great song, and I'm really glad there is something there. I haven't listened to semi-final 2, 3 and 4 yet, but I'm glad there's something there that can give Subwoolfer a run for its money. No one wants like a one-horse race in a national final. It keeps it interesting, it keeps it fresh. If there are multiple legitimate entries, acts, songs that are vying for the win. And I think Norway has fallen in love with this sound before. When I say this sound, as in like that similar kind of dramatic song. So Monsters a few years ago, right? I mean, I'm not saying it sounds the same, but Norway has sent or voted for and won and picked a winner of MGP to go to Eurovision before. That's within this sort of remit. I like it. It's a lovely 3 minutes. It's a lovely sounding song. Her voice sounds lovely. I mean, do I think if it went ahead that it's a shoehorn win to win Eurovision? No, I don't. I don't. Would I prefer a stronger vocal rather than that kind of contemporary, kind of soft toned voice? I don't know, but maybe some more emotion in the performance wouldn't go amiss. Like, you know, without that, then you do rely, and it does rest on the listener picking up the message of the song through the lyrics. And I think you're going to have to do that with that song based on the way that that's performed. And it's been decided to be performed, and that's not a bad thing. But yeah, you're going to have to rely on you as the listener to listen to those lyrics to work out the meaning of the song, because it's not necessarily relayed in how it's performed. But it's a really, really strong entry. And, you know, if Norway decide to pick it, then I wouldn't be surprised. Do I think it would do well at Eurovision? Yes. Do I think it could win based on what I've seen so far in regards to the visual ideas and how it's staged and how it's been decided it's going to be performed in regards to her performance and the vocal that she's putting on the track at the moment? With all of those factors taken into account, I don't think it's a shoehorn win, no. But I think it's going to give Norway a very, very good result at the end. Yes, obviously, how can I say that with 3 songs selected so far? But you just get a vibe, don't you? Regardless of what part of the Eurovision season your song gets selected, you just know. And it's a real credible sound. And yeah, I already know the younger generation are going to lap this up. Am I part of the younger generation? No. But no, this is the sort of sound that my sister, what's she, 18, 19, she listens to this sound all the time. So let's see. But I mean, has any of my question marks been answered after that performance? No, I don't think so. Am I disappointed in the performance? Absolutely not. Did I enjoy watching that and listening to that for 3 minutes? Absolutely. So take that as you will, I guess. So those are my thoughts. Please let me know what you think. Please let me know what you thought about the results of semi-final 1. Please let me know what you thought about Elsie Bay's performance. And yeah, until next time, stay safe.